strokes the three from the left wing.
Gagliardi, why not? He's feeling it. He's from three.
Goodness. Junior down the lane, drops to Rainwater for a two-handed slam.
That's what you do. He will tear down a rim this year.
Largy able to blow by the pressure. Now a lob. Rivers throws it down.
Cato tries it again. You bet. Caleb Cato, back-to-back threes.
Hello, Eagles fans. This is your boy, Elliott Cressy on the mic, joined, as always,
by your man, Russell Kelly.
by the man, Russell Kelly.
I thought you were going to say the myth.
The man, the myth, the legend.
I am only two of those things.
Well, better work on being a man.
True.
Because right now you're just a myth and a legend.
Yeah.
Anyways, we're back with a lot of FGCU news. Breaking news, Duke has joined the ASUN. We're very excited about that. We're probably going to get a lot of press.
Mm-hmm.
So, yep, that's a joke.
Yes.
We just wanted to get you on your toes so you can settle down now. But
Each and every one of you is on your toes right now.
But no, for the real breaking news, we had another amazing human being join our roster.
He's a billionaire philanthropist.
I'm not even being sarcastic. He seems like a great dude. Kevin Samuel from TCU, originally from Barbuda.
Mm-hmm. Small island.
One
in
of the
Caribbean.
tallest persons to exist probably in Barbuda.
Yeah, I actually, there's a really cool YouTube feature on him that what conference? The Big 12, that's what TCU is in. They did a featurette on him.
Is it Big 12?
Are you second guessing me?
I am.
Well, look it up, but I know it's the Big 12.
Okay.
I almost said B12. It's like a shot of energy. Anyway, they did this cool featurette on him a year or two ago or something and kind of told some of his story. You can find it on YouTube, but he's like the first D1 athlete to come out of Barbuda.
That's cool.
Yeah, so...
For reference, he's 6'11".
250 plus.
For those who didn't already click on his bio.
But you did, because you're excited too.
Yep.
But he's, I mean...
So the downside is it's 1 year of eligibility, we think.
Yeah, it's there's probably a 90%
You know,
chance.
with the Delta variant now, it could be 2 years.
What are you talking about?
COVID.
Yeah.
Are we not supposed to talk about that? We're not being affected by COVID this year. We're having a regular season, and Kevin Samuel's going to average 30 and 20.
30 rebounds and 20 assists?
30 minutes, 10 points.
You said 20.
Oh, 20 points.
I'm okay with that. That's very normal.
20 turnovers. No, I'm just kidding.
Anyway, just the latest and another just really big signing in this crazy transfer portal era. 5 guys have come off the transfer portal this offseason. 6 if you include Andre Weir from last year. And this is the biggest, quite literally, one of those guys. He averaged, I'm forgetting his averages, but
8 and 7 or 9 and
way
8.
more than that.
Who?
Kevin Samuel? Yeah.
Career?
No, I don't care about career.
What are you talking about then?
Most recently.
Oh, I'm pretty sure it's like 9 and 8. As a junior, he averaged 8.8 points and recorded 7.8 rebounds. So 9 and 8. But that 8 rebounds is third best in the Big 12.
So he had a season, his junior or his sophomore. Look at his sophomore year. He averaged like 11 points and 9 rebounds.
10 points and 8.4 rebounds.
Okay, 10 points, 8 rebounds, and like 3 blocks.
2.7 block shots.
So that's what I want to talk about because we already have a man named Dakota Rivers who was on pace for a crap ton of blocks last year had it not been a super shortened COVID season for FGCU in particular. He was averaging over 2 blocks a game. It would have potentially been like a record-setting block season for FGCU.
Because if I remember correctly, freshman year, his whole freshman season, had about 78, 79 blocks.
No, that's a lot more. He had 30-something, close to 40. But that was in 13 minutes played per game.
Okay.
He averaged like 17 minutes played per game this past year and averaged over 2 blocks a game. But we only played 18 of them or something like that.
Yeah. Well, they haven't updated his sophomore season yet. But freshman year, he had 39 block shots.
Yeah.
And I think you're right. He had 33 in this short-ass season.
Right, 18 games played.
So he would have broken his freshman
I think
record.
that might be their season record if he would have...
It was 17 among all freshmen in block shots nationally.
Yeah. So, long story short,
2 really good shot blockers.
that you could, in theory, put on the court at the same time. Kevin Samuel is a 5. Rivers, they want and he wants, and to be able to play down at the 4 in big lineups. And imagine those 2 dudes on the floor at the same time. Like, who's scoring in the paint? Nobody.
But then on our offensive side, who's scoring in the paint?
Rivers with a dunk, Samuel with a dunk. I mean, Samuel's a great rebounder.
Yeah.
And Rivers
I guess
working on that,
Rivers has great dunking athletic ability, but I have not seen any short range real game from him. So
there's not as much post
I
move.
don't know what Kevin Samuel can bring as far as short range shots or mid range. So I'm just asking, if it's not fast break, how are we scoring in the paint?
Well,
granted, we have a lot more shooters now, so maybe we
right,
don't
and
need to as much.
that's including Rivers too, who's just only going to improve on the 3-point line.
I think the Rivers Samuel tandem, and this is very speculative, and are only going to be on the floor for 5 minutes at a time max.
Yeah, I think that might even be a stretch. 5 minutes total.
Yes.
At a time, a couple minutes. Yeah. I think it's more. I mean, another new guy, Carlos Rosario. I think he's a low block scorer. If you watch any bit of film on him, it's creativity under the basket, layups. He's admitted himself that he's not much of an athlete as far as the jumper goes. Then again, he puts up videos of him working in the gym where he's jumping out of it and throwing down dunks and stuff. I know he's just messing around, but he's quite a low post scorer. Austin Ritchie, being a stretch 4, likely has some ability low post, but where you really want to see him shine is on the perimeter and just outside the paint a little bit, mid range.
Yeah, so right now I don't see any true, correct me if I'm wrong, like any true slashers other than Cyrus and Cato a little bit.
I would say the main slasher on the team is Cyrus for sure.
Yeah.
I think Cato has some of that in him, and I also think Franco Miller has some of that in him as well.
Right, but like last year, Warren was our leading slasher.
Correct. He was the guy who could get to the rim most.
But next to him, it was Cyrus, and then I would put Cato, and then Franco Miller. So now you got, Warren gone, the veteran gone, but Cyrus is almost stepping up in that role. Cato is that role. So those guys are, it's just going to, it's going to be a good balance. Like you said, we got crazy depth.
Yep. Tavian Dunn-Martin, actually, he's undersized, like 5'8", but he gets to the rim when you watch any of his videos against bigger guys and knows how to work it.
I take it back. Luis Rolón can get to the rim.
Right.
He usually kicks it out, which is fine.
Right.
So, there's limitless combinations right now.
Yeah, it's going to be really fun speculating.
Like the starting 5 is going to be probably just rotating every
And that's
game.
exactly what the non-conference is for. And there's been a little bit of talk about who we're going to play. It seems like, I believe Ken Kavanaugh actually confirmed that the USC game at home is going to happen this year. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
We're going to play FIU. We're going to play
Mercer finally.
Yeah, at home, I believe. It should happen. I don't know if that's officially confirmed.
It might be back there.
But anyways, there's the schedule's still being fleshed out, but it's should be a pretty good non-conference and something that we didn't have last year to really get younger guys minutes to see, can you play conference play or do you need to get your experience now and then sit?
Right.
Really figure out best starting 5s and yeah.
Hey, you know who we should reach out to again is Ted Gumbart, Mr. A-Sun Commish, to find out maybe he can enlighten us on if the A-Sun format is going to be back to regular this season, or if it's going to be that stupid crap that happened last year.
I don't see why it would.
I don't either, just because things are dying down, but like things could also ramp up, and I don't know if they're going to be super cautious or what.
I would actually argue that I don't know if it was the A-Sun or FGCU or both, but the way that shutdowns had to work out last year were extremely cautious. If one guy got something or had a scare or something, it seemed like there was no chance anyone was going to play. Whether you could test. Now, we don't know exactly what kind of testing was done, if it was an outbreak or if it was one guy, happened to come in contact with somebody. So they just said, we're done. But it seemed to be pretty cautious. So, the vaccines are out there. If you want to get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. But it's there.
Well, I just hope they can stay consistent with the rules, or at least just like hey, we're going back to a normal season no matter what. Like, obviously, if you get sick, then stay off the team. Right. But you can't do that to a team or a school when you get down to the wire and it's like, the format's changing, or like, nope, you're disqualified from this. Like, it was a weird year last year.
Yeah, for sure. So another piece of news, though, guy who's been with the team since Coach Fly took the helm, Donnie Marsh. Last time on the pod, we had talked about him stepping down and finding a job at Detroit Mercy. So that position was filled by Coach Kevin Sutton, who was a coach at Georgetown, actually, 1 year after we took care of them in the NCAA tournament in 2013. Is that correct, Elliott?
Yes.
Awesome.
Fact check says yes.
Fact check. And he's been at a few other schools.
George Washington from 2011 to 2013. Old Dominion from 1999 to 2001. We're going the other way. And James Madison from 1986 to 1988.
Who most recently, though?
Rhode Island.
Rhode Island, okay.
3 years at Rhode Island.
Okay. But yeah, tons of experience from him.
36 years.
Yeah, that's quite a bit. And I know he has some on the high school level, too. So he's been the head guy. He's been a lead assistant. He's coached a lot of really good players. So he should be a pretty good addition to the coaching staff. Just a fresh face as well.
Yes.
So you've been keeping up at all with like the other teams around the ASUN? I know we've talked about the 3 new teams joining, but just sort of how their off season's going.
So because of the whole last season being weird and just news getting swept under the rug, I forgot that we had 3 new teams.
Yeah, it's easy to forget.
Western Kentucky and Jacksonville State, which is not in Florida.
Yeah, I was totally wrong in that. I was picturing Jacksonville. I was like, why is there 2 colleges in Jacksonville? And there's also UNF up there. And
who's the last one? North Alabama. No,
they're already here.
South Alabama.
Central Arkansas.
Central Arkansas.
Not north or south, in the middle. But yeah, I've we have so many new players on the team. Like with the, it's kind of becoming like a term. The transfer portal era is sort of becoming the term of 2021 in sports. At least it's not in a pandemic, because that was last year's.
Well, it's hit the reset button. It's like, let's go.
Right. But the transfer portal's wild. Like, it's been hovering a couple hundred kids away from like 2,000 kids in it at one time. And it's sort of settling down a little bit now, with it getting closer to guys trying to go to, campus and everything. But with all the new guys that we have, and we still have a lot of returning guys, it's not like this was this crazy mass exodus. It was just a few guys graduating and a couple guys transferring, which is the 2 guys transferring is very normal each year. So it's not something crazy, but I've been looking at the other teams in the ASUN kind of saying, well, who else? What are they doing? Where are they getting their players from? And the answer is really not that many places. There's not a lot of other teams in the conference that have sort of gotten all these, other D1 athletes, successful, experienced guys to come in. I would say, as far as rosters go, Western Kentucky looks amazing. They have a, was it 7'5", 225-pound guy on the team?
Yep.
And a 6'10", 300-pound guy, and there's a lot of body there.
I mean, 7'5" is about the tallest you'll ever see in college.
That's literally Yao Ming. I mean, probably 50 pounds less than Yao Ming, but yeah, those are the kind of transfers that they're getting, whether it's from JUCO or another school or something like that. But they definitely seem to be. They have a 4-star recruit on their team, if I remember looking correctly. But
so, do you think that's due to the teams not actively looking or having a need, or do you think that's something more attractive to, say, our school or Florida in general, which I can easily equate to possible like not to go back into COVID and stuff, but like things being open here, maybe people want to come to Florida more so than, I don't know.
Yeah,
like, I know Florida.
That's a real question.
Florida moves in a bunch. Like before COVID, it was like 1,000 people a day, and now it's probably twice that.
Yeah, that's a
like the housing market is insane.
I think it has to do with so many things. Like it's going to matter who's recruiting, because it's what kind of pitch can you give? Is it? I know for this team, the pitch this offseason is we want to win. Like we have the tools. We want to get more tools. We've experienced a little bit of winning last year. I know there's bitterness around the shutdowns and what that potentially did to the team last year. Nobody's making excuses. Nobody's like, it's COVID, it's COVID. But the message coming out is that people are mad. People are pissed off, and not in a pout, boo-hoo me way, in a let's do this. Like, let's get everything back normal. Let's get the guys we need. And that's really been the attitude that I've at least seen.
It's more like we had a season spoiled last year, so let's
look out.
Yeah.
So I think that a lot of it has to do with the message that has been sent to, the guys that have been reached out to in the portal. But it's also sort of a shift in, I don't want to say a shift in philosophy from Fly and the coaching staff and stuff like that, because they're still trying to build from within. It's still have a couple seniors, have a couple juniors, a couple sophomores, a couple freshmen. It's still that. And that way the well's never dry like, it was a few years ago. But at the same time, it's competition everywhere, and not one competition. It's one of three guys in any position. Like we talked earlier, just a couple minutes ago, about how deep the team is. Like, who are the point guards on the team? You would have thought that Luis Rolón is a shoe-in to just take the reins for the next 3 years, right? Tavian Dunn-Martin's here next year, and it's like, who's going to start? Rolón looked great, and he'd be a great starter. Tavian Dunn-Martin has been a starter as well, and he's done really well. So it's nobody is having it easy, and everybody just wants to win, like I'm saying.
It's kind of set up so like you almost have 2 starter caliber players at each position.
Yeah,
almost.
Yeah, and I'm sort of trying to
I haven't seen Tavian Dunn-Martin play at FGCU or like in the ASUN, in the flesh, whatever, but it appears that he could be a starter, or like you said, Rolón could be the starter.
Right, and then you move to 2 guard, and it's like, is that Cato? Sure, absolutely. Is that Largy? Sure, absolutely.
Right.
Is that Halvorsen? Sure, absolutely. Is that Franco Miller? Sure, he did it half of last year anyway. There's so many guys who can do that. You go to the 3. Half of those guys can play the 3 as well. Austin Ritchie's a stretch 4, but he's also kind of a wing. Could he play 3? And then you go to forwards, and you got Rivers, and you got Zach Anderson coming back for his sophomore season looking lean, and Kevin Samuel. You got Carlos Rosario and Austin Ritchie again as a stretch 4, and there's so many guys, and nothing's guaranteed to anybody besides if you're the guy who's going to help us win tonight or the season, then you're the one who's going to play, and you got to earn it. It's not going to be given to you because you've been here. It's not going to be given to you because we wanted you coming in because you had a good last year.
Yep, and let's be real, with the, what do you want to call it, excess of transfers maybe this year than last. Surplus. Fly's got to win. That's what it comes down to this season. Is like, you have to at least get to the semis or the championship, and probably more so the championship.
Yeah, I think it's either win a lot of games and then be disappointed because an unfortunate circumstance happened, or win a decent amount of games and really prove your mettle in the tournament. It's got to be
the
one of those
ultimate goal
two.
is the
right.
There's going to be losses.
Yep, ones that should be wins too. So, like we did last year, we're going to be doing our newcomer articles, probably 2 weeks in between each one. Every 2 weeks is what I should say.
Leading up to the season tip.
Yeah. Well, leading up to doing the returning player articles.
Oh.
It's a nice little...
So we're going to have a barrage the next couple months.
I mean, there's 13 guys on scholarship, so you can expect 13 articles. But anyways, I figured we're going to do the newcomer articles first, introduce everyone to the new guys, just a little bit more in-depth, more than stats. We're going to get to know where these guys are from, what high schools they went to, how they did, what led them to whatever school they went to before FGCU, what led them to transferring to FGCU, and just kind of what they expect, what they can offer the team. And I figure we'll do it in the order that they committed and or signed with FGCU, and that means first guy up's Matt Halvorsen, shooting guard, combo guard from Western Carolina University. And with each of these article releases, I'm planning to release it Monday, July 4th. So maybe I actually won't release it Monday. Maybe it'll be Tuesday, but or Monday's the 5th.
Just say you'll be
whatever.
Releasing stuff.
I'm going to be releasing it soon. And with each of these articles, I'm going to be trying to get the guys on the pod to just kind of get to know them on that medium as well. So with that being said, we were fortunate enough to have a conversation with Matt Halvorsen, and just ask him some questions, see how he's liking Fort Myers at this point, and getting to know his new teammates. Here's Matt Halvorsen, and enjoy the conversation. For the first time, we want to welcome Matt Halvorsen to the Screechers Report podcast. Matt's joining FGCU for his graduate season. How you doing, man?
Doing great. How you guys doing?
We're all right.
All good.
So you spent 4 years at Western Carolina, a lot of success. Can you talk about your time there and what sort of led you to transferring?
Yeah, so my time at Western Carolina was really good. I mean, there was never any hard feelings whenever I decided to leave with the coaching staff that was there at the time. I loved that place, and I had a good career. I just didn't reach the team goals that I was really wanting to in my time there. So I just felt like, I wanted to get into a new situation, try a different experience, a different location, and then find a team that I could feel like compete for a championship and also get my MBA as well. So I feel like I've done that here at Florida Gulf Coast, and hopefully we can reach those goals.
So I was doing some research we're going to do an article featuring you, as you obviously know, that should be coming out this coming Monday. Just doing research on you, I actually came across that, was it your brother played at Western Carolina last year as well?
Yeah, so he just finished up his freshman year. He's staying there. He's going into his sophomore year now. They just got a new coaching staff. They got Justin Gray, who played at Wake with Chris Paul and that team 15 years ago or so. He was at Winthrop as an assistant the last couple of years. So he's still there at Western Carolina. He really likes it there and everything.
Cool. Good luck to him, of course.
All right, Matt, so, why FGCU? I mean, we're obviously happy to have you, but what drew you to this school and the coaching staff here at Florida Gulf Coast?
There's a few things. To win, I want to win, and I feel like that, what Coach Fly was able to present and what he was able to persuade me with and through the recruiting process was a lot. And he told me that, he was going to go out there and get a lot of talent, and he's done that. We brought in 5 guys, I think, through the transfer portal. A couple have already graduated, and a couple of are still really experienced juniors and seniors. Then also with the returning guys that we have here already, have produced at a high level. So the talent that we have here is really good. Obviously the location in Florida is something that was appealing to me as well. But the NBA and the championship level team that we have are the 2 most important things.
For sure, yeah. The depth this season is going to be great to have and something we've been lacking the last couple of seasons, so we're excited for that. Are you buddies with anyone on the team yet? I know you might be new and still getting to know everyone, but is there anyone you've connected with or hanging out?
I've been trying to hang out with a bunch of guys, some of the new guys, some of the returners. I've been hanging out with Keo Cato a lot, Carlos Rosario. I've been with him a lot. Kevin Samuel, the transfer from TCU. He lives with me, so we've been going to the gym every night. He's a big 6'11", 250-pound dude, so I'm excited for him to, be protecting the rim and everything. And so now a bunch of the guys, they're all super welcoming and nice guys, which is really good.
So how long you've been in Fort Myers now since you arrived?
So I've been here about almost 10 days.
What are your initial impressions, and do you hate how hot it is yet?
The weather the heat really hasn't been bad. It's been the rainfall these last week or so. That's what's been bad. Everybody says once September comes around that'll go away. So,
what's your initial impressions besides weather? Just any cool spots you found? Any just the overall vibe, I guess.
I haven't found any really local restaurants or anything, but when it comes to the arena and on campus and everything, the arena's really nice. The weight room is nice. I like our locker room. We're treated really well by the coaches, and getting food and all that stuff. So they do a really good job, and it's just a really nice place over there. And campus is obviously really nice and beautiful, and there's a lot of things to do. And I think once the school year comes around, there'll be more. I'll see the full effect of what Florida Gulf Coast is like. But no, I really like it so far.
Awesome. Let's get to know Matt a little bit outside of basketball. What's on your playlist? What's your favorite food? What are your hobbies outside of basketball?
So my favorite food is probably some ribs. I haven't found a place down here with those yet. I haven't really looked, but I think there's a place called Connors or something that I'll probably try out at some point and get a nice meal there. I like to play golf in my free time, so there's a ton of golf around here, so I'm sure I'll find some cool places at some point. I haven't been able to play any since I haven't, it's obviously been raining a lot. We've had, we've been having camp and workouts and all that stuff, so haven't done that yet, but I'm going to try to get out there here one weekend and play some golf and see what these Florida courses are all about.
Yeah, Connors is excellent. I mean, that's one of our go-to places for any time it's a celebration, or actually they have a really good lunch special, not as expensive. So, pro tip right there.
Yeah, I'll definitely try that place out.
Back to basketball a little bit. You've been advertised as a high-volume, high-level perimeter shooter. Is that how you see yourself?
Yeah, definitely. I definitely feel that shooting is my biggest strength. That's what I've done my whole life, and at the college level as well, in a pretty good league. So I feel like that's what I bring really well, and then just the experience and leadership ability to this team I'll also bring. I feel like that's one of the strengths that I had at Western Carolina was, on the floor and during games, being able to communicate and, get guys in the right spots and tell people where to go and, be there if guys need it and bring guys together. So I'm going to continue to bring that here and hopefully do an even better job than I have.
So it looks like you've played a little bit of point guard as well at Western Carolina. Is that something you're comfortable doing as, in spells at least?
Yeah, so I played point guard actually my whole sophomore year. We didn't really have one, and we were trying to figure out, that was the first year that we got Coach Prosser there, and we were trying to figure out, where to put what guy where, and so I actually took that role. We didn't have a very good season, but I was comfortable in that spot, and I feel like here I can, use that if we need it. We've got two really good point guards already, and Tavian and then Luis as well. So both those guys will kind of, but if there's ever time where somebody gets in foul trouble or something like that, then I can definitely, go into that position and, you put minutes there if we need it.
And I know it's early, and you talked a little bit about, getting some work in with some of the guys and hitting the gym, but what are your impressions from what you've seen, getting in the gym with some of the new guys and some of the returning guys? I know guys are coming back now with summer sessions starting.
Yeah, so we have a lot of talent. That's one thing I'm really excited about. It's obviously a lot of new faces, but that's up to us, to come together. But there's a ton of talent. We've got a bunch of guys. I think we have like 6 guys or so, maybe even more than that. I think 6 guys, though, that averaged double figures a year ago. 4 or 5 returning guys or 4 or 5 new guys that have, and then Cyrus and Caleb did last year. They both averaged 13 or so, I think. So, there's a ton of talent. It's just all to us, come together and get rid of the egos. And that's one thing about this team that I've realized so far is that there is no ego. It's just a bunch of guys that feel like that they want to win. They've already kind of accomplished the individual side of things, and it's time to go win a championship. So that's super exciting.
Yeah, for sure, and we're really excited to see you back in action, or get started in action at Alico Arena this year, and hopefully the capacity allows for a full rocking arena, because that'll be fun. And now that we got a few new teams in conference play, I think it's going to be a lot of fun with all the new additions and players. So, is there anything else you want to let fans know, anyone listening know about what you plan to bring this upcoming season?
No, I'm just to let fans know that I'm excited, and this whole team's excited, and our coaching staff is as well. We're going to get Alico Arena packed out, and we'll hopefully win a bunch of games. I think we will win a bunch of games, and y'all come out and have fun and cheer, and we'll try to do our job as well.
All right, I love it, and I'm sure we'll talk again, whether it's on the pod again, at a practice, or post-game interview, something like that. But we wish you the best this season, and this off season. We still got a whole bunch of that before the season starts. But thank you for coming on, man. We appreciate it.
Yeah, no doubt. Thank you guys very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you guys for listening. We'll be back again pretty regularly from here on out through the off season with more guest interviews leading up to some articles and just any more breaking news that happens to happen. Till next time.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Can't complain.